let me just make you jump into a small discussion about a case that has been going on. I don't know if you've heard about it. Have you ever heard about this case of a child called Baby Testimony that went missing in Nigeria at Jeremiah Omoto's church?
Actually, I've not followed that story very well, so I don't really have the details. Except if you can furnish me with the details. Yes.
Okay, there's a child. There's a young lady. She's actually physically challenged. She went to this church led by Jeremiah Omoto for fame to seek deliverance and to get prayers to get a problem solved. So she's a mother. She was a mother of 4, and with her was a little one who was 2.5 years old. When they went to this church, it so happened that 2 women approached her while she was sitting with their children inside the premises of the church, and they asked for directions where to buy Indomie and something like that. Okay. And it so happened that the mother believed that these people are from the same church, and because she had seen these 2 women, having a conversation with one of the, patrons in that church. So she said, okay, let me allow my son to escort you. When that son was escorting these 2 women, it so happened that the little one also cried out to say, man, I also want to go. So they went together. And these women deceived these 2 little boys, and they ran away with the little one, who was 2.5 years old. And this happened in 2019. Since then, that child has never been found. What do you think would have transpired? What do you think would have happened?
Well, actually, I've also have stories in, I think, 1990 something, where a big church, like a church in Lagos, has about 30,000 people. A child was also missing like that from the children department. Well, that could be an act of carelessness on the mother, because though you said that the mother trusted the people that came to pick the child, but there's a possibility of maybe carelessness. Maybe the people came to steal the child for rituals, because that is really what some of these people do. But the problem now is that nobody knows who sent them. Maybe they came to steal the rich. It depends on who the people are coming from. You get my point? The people that I don't know how I will say it. The very people you say they are the people that the woman trusted. It depends who sent them. You get my point? Maybe somebody sent them to come and carry that child for rituals. It's really sad.
Okay, when she went to complain, to make a formal complaint to the church, she was chased out of the premise that you want to tarnish the image of our church.
Wow.
By the pastor and his leadership and his security team.
And it is in that place the thing happened.
It is in that place when it happened.
In that what the church did was not good. No, they were supposed to assist. If there's any proof that she is a member of the church and that thing happened in that church, the church is supposed to be a shelter and just assist in really helping her to find that child out. For them not to help, then there's a cause for concern there. There's a cause for concern.
Okay, if you were the leader of this church, what could you have done?
No, I just pray that such things don't happen to us, because but definitely we have to look for the child. Oh, we have to. Because in order to exonerate yourself, you have to go into it and look for that child. Be prayer. I think I'm told that they hear from God. Then God should tell them where the child is. You get my point? And because I watched a clip where they said the God spoke to them from the sky. So God should tell them, you speak to them from the sky and tell them where the child is. Because on a serious note, for the sake of humanity, I mean, as a human being, if you have children, how about you should feel it. Except if you don't have a child. If you have children, you should feel the pain of that woman. And to me, I feel that a church is supposed to assist and put in all their arsenals to actually look for that child. But if you wash your hands out of it, you become a suspect on a serious note, because the thing happened in your ground. You become a suspect. It will be very important that everybody put in their effort and look for that child. Like the case I told you of, the pastor actually delegated a group, a team. They got the police involved. The pastor got the police. The bishop got the police involved, and dedicated a team, and they searched for that child. For that child that was, and it took them some time. Later, they now discovered that ritualists actually sneaked into the church and took the child away. Because the police, you can see the pastor, he put all the effort, and the whole church mobilized their resources to look for the child before they found out what really happened. So, but when the church now step aside and say and drive the person away, I think it calls for concern. Maybe the government is supposed to look into that.
And the church even refuses to reveal the CCTV footage of what transpired.
If
What
that
do you
is
make
what
out
happened,
of?
then it's very bad. If that's what happened, then it's bad. It means the church is not helping. The church is now behaving as if they were responsible. You get my point, which is not good. It's now behaving as if, because if you want to really prove that you are not responsible for this thing, then help. You help. Just put it. Last I say, you deploy all your arsenals, deploy all your resources, and just help that woman and get it. If you are not revealing the CCTV footage, you are not doing anything, then there's a cause for concern there. People will actually come up with conclusions which really look valid, that you did this, you did that. Even though you didn't do it, people will come up and say you did it because your action is not helping to solve the problem. It's rather creating suspicion. So whoever is advising them to do that is not really helping them.
This happened in 2019, and then it so happens that 3 years down the line, the mother comes out and she starts asking again, please, I want my child.
Wow.
And the very same pastor sends police to arrest this woman. What do you make of that scenario?
God, is that what happened? Are this happening on the earth? Or they are just movies? Jesus.
The same pastor where the child went missing sends police to go and arrest this very same woman.
If that is
She's
the case,
disabled.
is that the case?
She can't walk. She walks on a wheelchair.
Oh, the child is disabled.
She walks on her phone. Very disabled. She can't.
Honestly, if what you are saying is what happened, then these people are really demonstrating to be responsible for this thing. Honestly. And people don't even fear God. People don't know that we are going to appear before God and give account of ourselves. People have forgotten judgment. If that is what happened, then it's really unfortunate. It's a bad image on the church, on a serious note.
It did not end there. He even went on to sue this woman in court for defamation of character.
What?
And this woman has been going to court for the past about 6 months or so, going to court, defending herself for defamation of character.
Where am I that I'm not even hearing all this stuff? You mean these things are happening? Oh my God.
This is happening in the so-called church, Apostle. It's happening in the so-called church. So now do you have an idea? Do you have an idea now why people are so skeptical about church? And one of the major concerns is we have so many ministers around. Okay, let's pardon you. You said you don't know anything about this. There are so many ministers in Nigeria who know about this. My question is, why are they all silent? Is it because they do not want to get in trouble with this pastor, or because they have their own things to hide? Why are they silent about this? This is a case of a missing child. Why are these so-called true ministers of God not coming together in harmony and say, you men, why don't you do the right thing? Why don't you help this woman instead of harassing her the way you are harassing? Because this man is making the entire church look so bad. All the churches in Nigeria look so bad. What's stopping the other ministers to chip in and call out for justice for this child?
I think there could be several reasons, but it's really sad that it happened that way, because I think there was a time I was teaching something in our TV, because we have a TV station here in Kenya called the Morning Cloud Television. So I was teaching something on TV, and one of the things I said is that we in the church today, we pastors, we don't have a system checking us. There's no system. There's a lot of lawlessness. Every pastor wants to be a king over himself. We don't have a system checking us. And that's why maybe people like you, the bloggers, God have established you guys to start checking us. Because if you people were not there checking us, I don't know what would have happened to the church now. Actually, there was a time I had an encounter, which I said, which actually God spoke to me, that the bloggers are the threshing floor that is bringing the pastors out, on a serious note. Now, if let's say we have something checking us, a system checking all these excesses, maybe it will have stopped this kind of nonsense. Ordinarily, again, the conspiracy of silence also could be born out of people, some people being part of this stuff, or some people are just afraid. I don't want to put my hand in this thing, or I'm involved in. To me, if this thing is true, Then I called for the PFN of Nigeria and the CAN. PFN is Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. CAN is Christian Association of Nigeria. They should come up and speak up. If what you're saying is really what happened, they should come up and just speak up and just spare the entire church of all these things and just deploy the arsenal and get this problem solved. They could call that pastor, sitting down and hear from him, call the woman, sit her down and hear from her, and come up with something. If they just ignore this thing like this, it's not a good thing. Honestly, it's really sad. I never knew that there was this kind of thing happening. Honestly.